everyone. Welcome to another Children of Yah teaching. If you are new to this, Children of Yah is a Bible teaching series for children where I'll be posting videos on YouTube teaching about the Most High Yah and His Word, the true Word. If you listened to our last teaching, you know that it was on jealousy. Episode 12 is titled The Dangers of Distractions. Before we get started with today's lesson and how it impacts our walk with Yah, let's first define what a distraction is. According to thesaurus.com, a distraction is having one's attention drawn away, and some synonyms for the word distraction is confusion, disturbance, interference, interruption, entertainment, a sport or game, and surprisingly, a word that we are very familiar with, a beguilement. Don't remember hearing that word? To refresh your memory, let's go to Genesis 3, verses 1 through 7, and then verse 13. And the serpent was cunning above every beast of the field which Yah Elohim had made. And he said to the woman, Is it also that Yah has said, You shall not eat from any tree of the garden? And the woman said to the serpent, Of the fruit of the trees of the garden we may eat, but of the fruit of the tree in the middle of the garden Elohim has said, You shall not eat of it, nor shall you touch it, lest you die. And the serpent said to the woman, Surely you shall not die, for Yah knows that in the day you eat of it, even your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as Yah, knowing good and evil. And the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree was desirable to make one wise. And she took of its fruit and ate. And she also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. And the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed leaves of the fig tree and made girdles for themselves. Verse 13. And the Most High Yah said to the woman, What is this that you have done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. Did you hear that? Eve told Yah that the serpent beguiled her. To beguile means to be deceived or tricked. Remember, earlier we learned that distraction is something that draws one's attention away. Let's go to another scripture to help us better understand how being distracted can negatively affect our walk with Yah. 2 Corinthians 11, verse 3. I am afraid, however, that just as Eve was deceived by the serpent's tricks, your minds may be led astray from the simple and pure devotion to Yeshua. Did you hear what 2 Corinthians 11, verse 3 just said? This Bible verse just warned us that just as Eve was led astray by Satan, so can we be led astray by Satan as well. To make this plain and clear, to be led astray means to be distracted. Remember, earlier we learned that another synonym for the word distraction was a game. Anything that is a game is a recreational activity, and it can be a pleasure and/or a pastime for fun. Well, I would like to share my own struggles with allowing games and sports to distract me from doing the things of Yah, like I was before. Basically, I was distracted by this game that has to do with the NBA, and it has kept me from doing the things of Yah, including reading and doing these teachings for you guys. I've been able to keep myself from the game on account of my mom has been giving me a 2-hour limit on my time with the NBA 2K. That way, I'll be spending more time with Yah and doing his work. To give us another example on this topic, let's go to a quick video clip and we'll be right back.
You shall not make for yourself an image in the form of anything in heaven above, or on the earth beneath, or in the waters below. You shall not bow down to worship them. Hey guys, it's me again, Douglas, and today we're on our second video of 10 videos on the 10 commandments. And the second commandment is about not worshiping idols. Yeah. And so an idol was like if somebody would make a thing, maybe you'd make something out of wood or out of gold or something, and then you'd bow down and worship it like it was your God. And this isn't really a big deal in America, but actually it is kind of sometimes. You might not even really notice it all the times, but sometimes as Christians we don't really think about bowing down to something that we made. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but people do it all the time. And actually too, the Bible is not just talking about a thing that you make with your hands when it says not to bow down to idols. Anything that comes between us and God can count as an idol. And I'll bet there's lots of things in your life, I know there are in my life, that can sometimes take the place of God. For me, the thing that really made me realize this about how sometimes I can let things get in between me and God was, there's this new video game that I got, and it's really fun, okay? It's kind of like paintball, okay? But it's like you shoot these giant paintballs at each other, and it's a video game, it's not real. And you shoot these giant paintballs, and it makes this huge mess all over the stage, and there's different colors and all this stuff, and you can have like different abilities and stuff with the paint, and it's super, super fun. I love playing this game. Pretty much all my free time I spend playing this game. It is super crazy fun. And I'd play it a lot, and I'd play it a lot, and I'd play it a lot, and it's really fun. I can play with my friends online even. And this year I decided that I wanted to read my Bible, and I wanted to pray every single day. I wanted to spend some time with God. And I started noticing that this game, sometimes I'd wake up in the morning and I'd just go play the game for a few minutes before school instead of reading my Bible. Yeah, and then sometimes when I get back from school, I would still forget to read my Bible, but I'd play this game, and I'd just keep playing and playing and playing. And it got really, really bad one day. The day that I realized that this was a big problem was, it was a Sunday morning, and I woke up and I did not feel like going to church. Okay, I know I've had days like that. I think we've all had days like that where you just don't feel like getting up and going to church. But I wanted to play this game, so I did something bad. It was very bad. What I did was I told my dad that I was sick, and I kind of did the fake coughing or whatever, and I said that I felt like I needed to stay home from church, and my parents trust me, and so they said, yeah, okay, Douglas, you can stay home. We'll see you after church. And so they left. And as soon as they left, I got out of bed and I started playing this game, and I got through like one level and I realized, what am I doing? I thought about it and I was like, what am I doing here? What has happened? I've let this game come between me and God. And there's nothing in particularly wrong with this game, right? But I let it come between me and God. This game really became my God, which is not good. That's a bad, bad thing, because this is just a game. Somebody made that thing. It's just a thing somebody made. But I was giving all my devotion, all my time, all my attention to this game. And so what I did actually was, I told my parents. I had to confess to them what I did, and so I got in some trouble for lying to them. But even beyond the punishment that I got from them, what I decided for myself was that I wasn't going to play this game for a whole month. Yeah, and again, it's not a bad game. It's okay. It's fine. But I let it get between me and God, so I decided to take some time away from it. And so whether it's a game, or whether it's a person, or whether it's a group of people, or an activity, anything in our lives that comes between us and God is an idol. And we are not to bow down to these idols. We are not to put anything in the place of God. God is God. And we should not let anything come between us and Him.
We're back, and now we're going to quickly talk about the causes of distractions and how we can get back on track. The main cause for being distracted is when we shift our attention from Yah and the things that are of Yah to things that are of lesser importance. This means that we have made whatever we are desiring in our heart more important than Yah, which is idolatry, and breaks the first commandment, which is putting a God before Him. Did you know that a God can be anything? A God doesn't have to be a pagan idol that we worship, but it can also be money, cars, games, sports, and anything that we love more than Yah. If we're not careful, distractions will not only affect our relationship with Yah, but also cost our salvation and our right to enter into the kingdom of Yah. So, to overcome this, we must fast and pray and remove the things that are distracting us from Yah out of our lives so that we can focus on Him. This doesn't mean that we can't have fun or things that we like. It just means that we cannot put anything before Him and that He must be our first love. Galatians 5:22 through 23 says that self-control is a fruit of the Spirit and it's a gift of the set-apart Spirit. We must resist the things that keep us from growing stronger in Yah and work very hard to apply ourselves in reading, studying the Word, and spending time in prayer with Yah. The more time we spend on the things of Yah, the less desire we will have for the things of the world. James 4 verse 7 tells us that if we submit ourselves to Yah and resist the devil, he will flee. So what did we learn today? Today we learned all about distractions and how if we are allowing them to keep us from doing the things of Yah, we'll become idolaters. And Yah says that no idolaters will be in the kingdom. To get rid of distractions, think of a plan to keep yourself from being distracted by what is entertaining. If this teaching blessed you, then subscribe to the channel. This is Yah signing off. Thank you for listening. Shabbat Shalom.